What is going on, guys? Right now I am driving in bumper to bumper traffic. Yeah. First off, my name's Matt Wieteha. This coming year, well, it's here. It's 2023. I am fishing the MLF Invitationals, and this is my first big step. But first off, I gotta say, this is what it takes. See this? That's a dead phone. Today, out of the blue, my phone just went kapoots. It died. So that wasn't cool. But on the way home, I'm gonna go to the Apple store, see if they can do anything. If not, you gotta get a new phone. But anyways, this is my first year. This would be my first year fishing on, I don't even know if we're gonna call it the professional level. I mean, I'm one step away from the biggest stage, one of the biggest stages in bass fishing, the MLF Bass Pro Tour. But this is the actual stepping stone to get there. Before it was Toyotas or the Costas, and that got you in the tour. That's all gone. Now it's Toyota Series, and now it is Invitationals, and then it's the Bass Pro Tour. But me, you know, I really haven't made a video like a hey, I'm fishing the Invitationals video, or a post or anything like that. And to be honest, I really don't know why. It's kind of something I've always wanted to do. It's not kind of, it is. This is, guys, for any of you who know me or don't know me, I've been obsessed with bass fishing since I was in the 2nd grade. Man, I would get in trouble in school reading books like Mike Iaconelli, Fishing on the Edge, KVD's Bass Strategies, Bassmaster magazines, Field and Stream, just any piece of literature, because back then there was no YouTube, there wasn't that much information online. Everything was in magazines, everything was in print. So I absorbed all that when I was a kid, and all I saw was, you know, and of course you had the TV show, you had the Bassmasters, you had all that, and man, I'm gonna say 2007 was when I first, or 2006, I'm sorry, is when I first like understood what was going on with bass fishing. What you know, as far as how tournaments worked and everything like that. That's when the Elite Series came to, you know, that's when the Bassmaster Tour became the Bassmaster Elite Series. ESPN was involved. You had the Saturday morning segments of Loudmouth Bass, Bass Center. Guys, what was the other one? Where they would like soup up these guys' boats. That one was bad to the bone. And they had like Ski Reese, Gerald Swindle, Scott Rook. Every now and then I think KVD would pop in. They call them the Bass Rats. It was like a Pit My Ride, but for bass fishing. Man, I watched all those TV shows. I thought all that was the coolest, most amusing stuff ever. And you know what? To this day, I still do. Let me get this piece of gum out of my mouth so I can actually talk. Yeah, growing up, that's all I watched. And, you know, going forward, you know, into high school, I got introduced to a little John boat tournament trail by my friend Eric Carmen. I remember it plain as day. We were sitting down outside our class before first period. This was like in 9th or 10th grade, and he goes, "Hey, check this out. They do John boat tournaments in Broward County," which happens to be where I'm at right now. And there's 3 lakes. You pay $60. You fish 4 or 5 tournaments. The last tournament's considered the classic, and that's it. I was like, cool. I got a John boat. and all you needed was a freaking 12-volt trolling motor and batteries, and throw your tackle in there and just makeshift a live well out of a cooler and an aerator. I was lucky that my dad did and still does own a live well company. He actually he constructs fiberglass live wells for a lot of yachts and open fishermen and just a lot of saltwater fishing boats around here. And he kind of had a custom mold made of a smaller live well. It was the baddest live well in the whole deal. But yeah, I mean, that's where I got my start. And funny enough, that's where I met a lot of people that I still know to this day. A friend of mine that you guys see in a lot of videos, if you see the 37-pound video, there's a goofy kid with curly hair who talks like he's Swedish. He's not Swedish, he's Tyler Nicolny. I met him back then. My neighbor Garrett fished with me. He did pretty good in those. I hate to say, he kicked my ass in a lot of them. Garrett, if you're watching this, you beat me back then. Cody Davis, you guys, if you're watching this channel, there's a 70% chance you know who Tight Splice Charters Cody Davis is. Cody Davis, he's probably the top 3 bass guides on Lake Okeechobee, and it was cool because a couple of years ago I ran into him in a Bass Pro. I never really talked to him at the tournaments. I talked to him a little bit, but I ran into him at one of the tournaments, at Bass Pro in Dania Beach, and I'm like, dude, do you still bass fish? He goes, I still got my stuff, you know, I still fish every now and then. I'm not as hardcore. He was a pier rat, like a Deerfield Beach pier rat. He would go out there, catch giant kingfish, beach fish for snook, for sharks, cool stuff. Stuff I've done the pier stuff a little bit. It's not for me. It's fun for a couple days, but he was hardcore, and he made it, you know, he made the pier, he made it what it is today. I'm not gonna say he made it, but he's one of the guys. But anyways, he jumped in the boat with me in my John boat, and we fished a couple of tournaments around the house. Actually out of a borrowed boat. A guy who lives down in Cutler Bay, I ran into him randomly one day at a gas station. He saw the John boat I had sticking out of the back of my truck, and guys talking about bass fishing, said he came from the Harris chain and all this. I haven't spoke to him in quite a couple years, but him, his son, we take turns taking his older Nitro out. We would just go fish. Guys, I had no clue how to run this freaking boat. I'll be straight up honest with you. We got caught up in some crazy stuff up on the shoal a couple of years ago. I didn't even know how to get the damn boat on plane. Like, I was trying to get the boat on plane trimmed up. Like, that's how clueless I was. Like, me with the background I'm coming from, I should have known better, but whatever. That's another story that we probably won't ever talk about. But I learned how to fish out of that boat a little bit. I can't say that I didn't learn how to fish out of it, but I fished out of it a couple tournaments with Cody. And you know, it was an older boat, and I was borrowing it, and it just gave me issues. You know, the trolling motor, the outboard. I went through trailer tires on that thing. I blew a trailer tire on the way home. It was not ideal. I'm like, I can't borrow a boat for the rest of my life. And at the time, I had a Ford F-250. I sold that thing, got a gas truck just so I could, you know, afford a bass boat, and bought a bass boat from Okeechobee's very own Kyle Monty. Just an old green Ranger, but it was the most set up 18-foot Ranger you've ever seen. 2 power poles, Bob's jack plate, 36-volt troll, 101 4-tracks. I had an 8-inch Lowrance HDS at the console, like a Gen 2, like still buttons. The bow graph never worked, ever, until like the day that I sold it. I started messing with it, and I got the bow graph to power up. It was like a 4-inch display, black and white. I was like, oh, this could have been nice, but I never used a graph because fishing on Okeechobee, you didn't need a graph. And you know, eventually that boat started giving me problems. It was an older motor, Mercury Optimax EFI, or no, I'm sorry, not an Optimax, an EFI 150. It was just, and dude, I'm hard on stuff. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I am hard on some stuff, and I put that boat through the paces, and finally everything was starting to catch up, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get this thing in decent shape and just sell it, and that's what I did. And I got into a buddy of mine's, Bobby Poncev. He moved up to Georgia a couple of years ago. A 2008 Bass Cat Pantera 2. Man, I love that boat. It was a fast boat. That thing rode really good for what it was. It was a narrow 19-footer. If you guys know Bass Cat, you know they run a little bit narrower. Not the best rough water running boat. You know, I'm gonna say that, but it did the job for me. I won my first ABA out of it. I won a couple of tournaments out of it. The only thing holding me back on that boat was had a small gas tank. It was a 133-gallon gas tank. I ended up buying a 10-gallon accessory tank for it. Never installed it. Just, you know. And I'll say that motor started giving me problems. That's one of the most historic ticking time bombs ever made that you could put on the back of a boat. And I blew that thing up like 2 or 3 times. Once during a rebit, once just running it, once during when I was the break-in period, I blew it up again. It was under warranty. It was this whole thing. And I'm like, dude, I cannot continue to compete in tournaments out of this. But I had to borrow like 4 different boats from my buddy Timmy Shabarek. I had to borrow his Skeeter. That was an awesome boat. I had to borrow my buddy Jamie Nash. He's probably watching this video. Jamie watches all my stuff. I actually talked to him yesterday for a good 30 minutes. He's going up to the Harris chain, you know, just kind of picking my brain. You know, Jamie let me borrow his Stratus. At one point, Louis Zhang from Mark Rods lent me and Nick Hoynig his Phoenix. Like, we borrowed some, or not we, but I borrowed some damn boats in my lifetime. I had to borrow Jim Finley's boat, and ended up getting a top 20 finish in a Toyota Series out of it. It was a rough road fishing out of that boat, and it was just, you know, I pretty much settled on the fact that, you know, if I can sell this boat, and that's, you know, and in the mix I got this truck, a 2017 Silverado, which I have about 146,000 miles on, because all I do is bass fish and drive to these tournaments. And I'm like, man, if I sell my Bass Cat, I could pay this puppy off, and I'll just start with a clean slate and just finance a fairly new boat. And I ended up getting a 1-year used Bass Cat era 2019. That's the boat I have now. Love that boat to death. I love that thing. Everyone's like, oh, the deck layout's weird, it's this, it's that. Listen, guy, that deck layout is, to me, the #1 layout on all of every boat on the market. Like straight up, I looked for that boat specifically because it's just, I love it. That's all I'm gonna say. It may not have the most space, but the way I'm crafty, I'm good at organizing, I kind of configured it out. I configured it the way I want, and that boat's just, I love it. I love it, love it. And once I got that boat, I'm like, you know what, now, I'd already been fishing some Toyota Series on and off. I fished them in 2019, fished them in 2020, took a year off in 2021. Just the money wasn't right. I'm just bumping straight up. The money wasn't right. I fished local, really got a bad case of FOMO. I really missed out on fishing the Toyotas. And I was like, you know what, next year I'm gonna do them. And I'm not gonna say who it is, but a silent sponsor stepped in, gave me enough money to cover my entry and expenses for the 2022 season. And guys, 2022 could not have been a better year for me. I mean, second at Santee Cooper, 4th at the Toyota Series Championship, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in Roland's, in the Roland Series, winning Angler of the Year, or Team of the Year with Nick. We ended up 8th or 9th in the championship. I was able to win my 3rd ABA this year. Won my second one last fall. It was just a year, and I did good in all these tournaments in times of the year, in situations where I'm typically not good. Like, I consider myself a good pre-spawn fisherman. Like, that was my strength. I really know what the fish are doing. I have a good feel for them when they're on beds. It's something I like. I understand it, and it works out for me. But this year, the one ABI I won was in May. That was a big deal for me. You know, just the whole post-spawn deal. The fish behave a little different, and I was able to put that together. Last year when I won the ABA, that was in the fall. That was a big deal for me. The fall has always been kind of a weird deal. The fish weren't spawning. Some fish might have been spawning. Some guys might have caught some, but I ended up punching Matt for the win in that one. And to go out of state, which was another big, to me, milestone, to go to Santee Cooper and get second, that was huge. That was really, I mean, and the paycheck, $20,000, that helped out a lot. I mean, you got to think, I'm starting off with 0 expenses in the Toyota Series, and I win 20 grand. That'll set you up in the right stuff, in the right spot, and to be able to pay things off, credit cards, just miscellaneous debts, pay for stuff on the boat. That was, dude, I mean, that's huge. And at the Harris chain, the first day I kind of struggled a little bit, and the second day I was actually thankful enough to run into Nick on the water, and he really helped me out, and I gave him credit in that video. I mean, I give credit where credit is due. I'm not one of these guys who keeps stuff under my sleeve. I like to, listen, if somebody throws me a bone, I'm gonna let everyone know, because this happens in fishing all the time, and just people don't talk about it. People take all the glory, and you know, and you know, that's good for them. That's fine. I'm not throwing shade on anybody, or I mean, I don't know anyone in particular who's ever got like a bone thrown at them or whatever, and you know, they do good and they don't say, you know, that's between them and that other person. That's fine. But you know, I ran to Nick on the water, and I'm like, dude, I have 0 bass right now. It's 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm gonna throw away my Toyota Series the championship qualification. Like, I'm done. And he goes, see that point over there? I actually just installed active target on my boat. Tyler helped me out big time with that one. 2 nights before the tournament, or the night before the tournament started. And I had very little experience with it, except a little bit of stuff at Table Rock. I went out there, live scoped a 5-pounder, went to the bridge on Harris, live scoped 2 or 3 more, ended up catching one flipping, came back to that point, caught a 3-pounder, had 16 pounds, and made the Toyota Series championship. And that was an awesome deal. I then to go to one of the most fabled lakes in the whole country, in the whole world, Lake Guntersville, in the fall, and to be in winning position, like 2 pounds off the lead going into the final day. I mean, that was huge. And just the way that tournament went, a lot of stuff didn't go my way. I mean, but on the same token, a lot of stuff went my way as well. Like, things I thought would work didn't work. I did a lot of stuff on the fly in that tournament, and it worked out like amazing. There's probably one stretch in that whole lake that I got bit out of, that I went to the tournament and caught fish out of. Everything else was just kind of just flying by the seat of my pants. And you know, when you can do that in that big of a tournament, I really feel like, and I'm not bragging on myself, guys, but that shows maturity. That shows, you know, that you're starting to get it. And that's something that me and Nick have done. Like, we've played with that in local tournaments. Like, we will not go practice, go pre-fish, do anything, and we'll just go wing tournaments. And guys, it works out more often than not. Like, we'll go fish, like I think we went and fished a gambler tournament one time. And we went out of the south end, cashed like, got top 10, top 15 or something like that. The next day, said we're scrapping it, we're going up north, fished the King of the Glades, cashed another, you know, top whatever, we cashed another check. So, and we've done stuff like that all the time, and it's slowly translated into us being able to do that in bigger tournaments. Like, dude, like, we'll look at each other and be like, dude, this isn't, this was the deal in practice, but this isn't the deal anymore. And we're able to pull the plug and just go fishing. And guys, that is the hardest thing to do in tournaments. I mean, the absolute freaking hardest thing ever. And, you know, me and Nick we've gotten pretty good at it, and I feel like that's why we're pretty consistent, and we stay in the money. And to be able to translate that into like a Toyota Series event or a regional event, and just be able to look at water, read water, and just go at it, dude, that's huge. And, you know, you run into people and they're like, man, how do you go somewhere you've never been and find fish and just go fishing? And honestly, it's about putting your head down. And the biggest thing is believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to have the confidence to say that, you know, I know what I'm doing, and even if I don't, I know what I'm doing enough to the point where I can make this work. And you got to cover a lot of water. Guys, I've been told by everyone I've ever fished with in my life, even my neighbor that I took fishing over Christmas break, he hasn't bass fished with me in 10 years, and he even says, dude, you're going too fast. You're going too fast. Dude, listen, that is the deal. You have to cover water. Don't get me wrong, you have to know when to hunker down and fish slow, go cycle through baits, to try different retrieves. You know, there's a time where you know you're on fish and you just kind of gotta just slow it down and just, you know, think a little bit and just figure it out. But when you're practicing or when you're fishing new water, dude, you gotta just keep an open mind and fish fast, and but you have to believe that you're fishing effectively enough, that if there's a school of fish there, if there's enough fish there to do well, or there's enough fish there that, you know, you're gonna get the hint that something's going on, one fish is gonna mess up. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but if you lock down in practice and you fish quick, but you fish efficiently, you don't fish sloppy, you don't fish dumb, you just fish fast, you're gonna find stuff, man. You're gonna find stuff. You're gonna cover 2 to 3 times as much water as everyone else, because, you know, you could fish a section of the lake all day long and get 5 bites and be like, dude, this sucks. Whereas somebody covering a lot of water can fish for like 3 or 4 hours and say, dude, I just need to get out of here, and run 20 miles up the lake and just start over and be like, oh my God, here they are. Or, you know, this section of the lake is just so much better. You just have to be able to do that. But you know what else I'm really good at, guys? It's going off on a tangent. That's what I've done today. The sun is right in my freaking face. I've got off on a huge tangent today because I'm stuck. I'm stuck in, it's bad. It's really bad. But the invitationals, man, That's basically what I'm making this video for. I've decided to fish the Major League Fishing Invitationals this year, and you know, I've a couple of people really close to me know this, and I haven't told anybody this. I don't even know if I should say this on freaking camera, but I've had so many doubts and second thoughts about doing it. Like, dude, you know, I'm better off money-wise staying home, fishing the BFLs, fishing the ABAs, fishing the Toyota Series again, and just doing that. And a couple of friends, my girlfriend Kendall, everyone's just told me, like, listen, dude, you're given this opportunity, and my job has allowed me the days off to go pursue this. They're like, listen, what's the worst case? Because now I can't fish ABAs. I'm not going to be able to fish hardly any BFLs. Like, the first BFL of the year is this Saturday, and it's on Okeechobee, and I can't fish. I'm off limits, and it sucks, guys. It sucks, because I would be able to fish the tournament. I mean, I can't do it. So I can't make regionals for the BFLs because I'm already going to miss one tournament, and you know, I've already taken so many days off through work. I can't take another one off for the BFLs. You know, like if work interferes with the BFL, I can't bail from work. It's just not going to work that way. ABAs, I'm considered a pro now because I've paid a $5,000 entry fee. Can't fish ABAs. Toyota Series, yeah, right, I can't get those days off. So it's tough, and it's just, you know, your friends that you usually room with, my buddies Nick, Cody Farnham, Colton Hester, Tyler Nicolini, like, they're all gonna stay together for the Toyotas, and that's like a fun group of guys, man. And it's just, to not be able to fish with them this year, hardly ever, or stay with them, is just, it's tough, because that's part of the whole fun, is going somewhere, rooming with a bunch of guys, you know, cooking out, and just, you know, telling each other about fishing stuff, lying to each other a little bit. I mean, it's the whole deal. Not happening this year. I will be rooming with Val Osinski from Gambler, a couple of the guys that he knows. Otherwise, I know like a handful of guys on tour, and I mean, that's it. I'm not saying there's not a fun group of guys, I just don't know them, so there's always that unknown going into stuff like this. But you know, it's, that aspect of it is kind of tough. But it's, you know what, if I tank this year, if this is not my year, all right, I'm not fishing any championships. Maybe the Roland championship. That'll just be about it. No BFLs, no ABAs, no Toyota Series championship, none of that. Gone. That sucks. It sucks. I'm basically selling my soul for 6 tournaments just for the hope of making it. But you know what? If there's guys that would kill, absolutely kill, to be in my shoes, and if that's a sacrifice that I have to make to give this, you know, this childhood dream a chance, man, that's, you know, I'm gonna do it. Worst case scenario, I tank this year. I might have to pull out middle of the year, because this is all coming out of my pocket, guys. It's coming out of my pocket this year, and I'm gonna be going Okeechobee and Clarks Hill. They're in the books. I'm going to fish those. But if the other tournaments don't work out, or if those first two tournaments don't work out, guys, I might be out for the rest of the year. So, and that's straight up honesty. Don't tell everyone that. No, I'm telling everybody. Yeah, so I'm giving this thing a chance, because me, because I'm thinking about me when I was in 2nd grade, and what would, you know, what would he want? He'd want to see me in the damn magazine, is what he'd want. He'd want to see me on TV. He'd want to see me, you know, living my dream, and that's what I'm gonna do. If I don't do good this year, guess what, guys? 2024, ABAs, BFLs, Toyotas, we're doing the whole gamut again. But yeah. So this video, I mean, I was gonna start off and be like, hey, I'm fishing the Invitationals. This is how I feel about it, and it was gonna be a 8-minute video. Now it's turned into a 30 plus minute video. But yeah, I kind of felt like I had to, you know, at least give a brief rundown of my background. Some guys have asked for that. Yeah, guys, I started out fishing John boat tournaments slowly, and I just got, and I had the itch so bad that I just decided to make a little jump. Then I made another little jump. Then I made a little bit bigger jump, and then, you know, then everything just kind of happened for me. And, you know, in life you got to take chances, and you got to say, listen, I'm gonna give this thing everything I got, and that's what I'm doing. And listen, it's 3 weeks till Okeechobee. I don't have a jersey made. I ain't got a wrap made. I still got to put a Lowrance Ghost and 2 lithium 36-volt batteries and 2 AGM batteries, thanks to Matt Sparks from USA Battery. I still haven't done that. I need to. I'll be honest, I like my old Trex, and I haven't got, that's one reason I haven't taken it off. I really like that thing. I just want the Ghost because it's going to be a lot faster, 12 motor, more efficient, etc., etc. But yeah, guys, that's my story. That's my deal. I'm fishing the Invitationals this year. 0 funding, 0 backup plan. I am still gonna have my job. I'm still working my job, but hey, if the Invitationals don't work after 2 tournaments, hey guys, I'll see you around, you know. But yeah, and I figured I haven't posted a video in a little while, so I get this thing out there, you know, get some content out there for you guys. And next video, I'm not sure what it's gonna be. It might be a little dock fishing deal on Lake Jackson up in Sebring. That lake's cool. That lake is so freaking cool. A lot of people don't go there because there's so many other better lakes that are around it. But if you want to try something new and do something different, that's a lake to go try. But yeah, I don't know what my next video is going to be after this, but I got a lot of stuff in the library to sort through. I got a lot of stuff. But yeah, guys, I'm not gonna run this video on anymore. I know you guys got lives, you got girlfriends that are kicking you in the side, saying, tell that guy to shut the hell up. But all right, guys, I'm out, and I'm gonna go fight traffic for another